So hello students, welcome to V Karnataka. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಒನ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. Now students, those of you are aware that this is a very large chapter, and very recently, because of the change in syllabus and the change in the reduction of syllabus, some amount of part is removed from the new NCERT. So we will be following the new NCERT, the new syllabus for your preparation of KCET. Okay. Now students, this is the chapter called as Organism and Population. Now, students, let me tell you one thing first of all. ತುಂಬಾ basic topic ಇದು. ತುಂಬಾ basic chapter ಇದು. Organism and the Population chapter ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದು. This actually falls under a category of biology called as ecology. ನೋಡಿ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ botany ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Plants. Zoology, animals. Microbiology, microbes ಅಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Similarly, there is a branch of biology called as ecology, and ecology is a subject which talks about organism interaction. ಈಗ for example, ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು interaction ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. That is interaction among living things. I am drinking water, I am breathing air, taking in oxygen. That is interacting with abiotic factors. ಈ interaction ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ with living and non-living, this entire thing is studied under a topic called as ecology. Students, nodi idu ecology. Ecology is a study of interactions. It is a branch of biology that talks about interactions among organisms, that is interaction with each other. For example, nanu good morning anti nimge good afternoon antini, ನೀವು reply ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. That is interaction among living things. At the same time, if I'm talking about if I'm drinking water, that is non-living thing. And organisms and their physical abiotic environment. So ecology is a branch of biology which talks about interaction among living things as well as non-living things. And the last three chapters given you in NCERT, it could be ecosystem, organism and population, environmental issues. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಕೂಡ biodiversity conservation, ಸರಿನಾ, ಈ ಮೂರು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಕಾಲಜಿ ಅಂಡರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ನೋಡಿ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂಚೆ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ molecular base of inheritance and also principles of inheritance and variation. That is under genetics. Okay, so with that being said, let's start with the first topic about ecology. Nodi students, nimd entire living world ideyala, ee entire living world ಒಂದು large, very large biosphere ಇದು. ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು entire living world is a very large biosphere. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಎಂತ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಯೋಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ನಾವು ಒಂದೇ ಸತಿ ಕಲಿಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Since it is very large biosphere, it is very difficult to understand every single segment. ನೋಡಿ, ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿದೆ. So for convenience, we are dividing the entire organisms or the entire biosphere into multiple levels. Multiple levels ಗೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡೌನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲಿತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾನು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 12ದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 5th ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಸ್ಲೋ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 12th ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರನೇ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಬಯೋಸ್ಪಿಯರ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ multiple different levels. For example, we can study the entire planet on macromolecule level. Okay, macromolecule level ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. We can divide it into cell. Group of cell is called as your tissue. Then we have your organ. Then we have your organ system or organism. Then we have your organisms. Then we have something called as population. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಇದು population. After that we have communities. Then we have something called as your ecosystem. Then we have something called as biomes. And finally we have the entire biosphere. So entire living world can be studied in multiple levels. Macromolecule, cell, tissue, organ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆನಿಮಲ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೆಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, till here you study those chapters. But students, from this point onwards, that is organism level ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ population level ಇಂದ, you will study in this chapter what is organism and what are the different adaptations of an organism. ಒಂದು ಫಿಶ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That fish can survive in extreme cold conditions, -30 to -40 degrees Celsius. How? Because of adaptations. So all that you learn in organism, and at the same time population kuda. So this is this chapter. Next chapter ecosystem chapter that you'll study here, ecosystem. Okay, so entire living world can be, it's a very complex thing, and you can study it in different levels, and this chapter is called as organism and population. So organism population ನಾವು ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಕಲಿತೀವಿ. Okay, now students, this is what we learned here: organism, population, community, ecosystem, biomes, biosphere. And students, remember, ಯಾವತ್ತು ನಾನು organism ಅಂದ್ರೆ I am talking about a single organism. And every single time I'm talking about population is a group of organism. But in population there is a group of organism, but all the organisms belong to one species. There is a group of elephants, that is herd of elephants, human population, bird population, ant population, spider population, snake population. ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್. ದ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ group of organisms is population. Okay, now at ecosystem level I'm talking about both biotic as well as abiotic components at ecosystem level. Okay, so with that being said, students, ನೀವು ಓದಬಹುದನ್ನ the same whatever I told you right here, and all of these notes will be available to you. Okay, all of these notes will be available to you in your Telegram channel. Now students, in ecology, okay, in entire ecology, there is this two terms which everyone needs to understand. There are two terms which everyone needs to understand. One is called as a habitat and other one is called as a niche. Now these two terms are very important for to understand ecology. Now I'll give you a simple example. Artha madkoli. For example, there is a doctor who stays in his house. That is the habitat. The person where the person is staying, that becomes a habitat. Now, the doctor has to work. The doctor will go to the hospital. The hospital where he is working, that becomes the niche. So niche is the job of the doctor. The role of a doctor is the niche. A policeman is in the house, that becomes a habitat. Police station becomes a niche. All of you are studying in your house right now, living in your house, that becomes a habitat. When you go to school, the school becomes the niche. Okay, the school becomes the niche. So niche is what? Each organism has an invariable defined range of conditions that it can tolerate, diversity in the resources it utilizes, and distinct functional role. Very important line. So functional role of an organism, the functional role of an organism in an area is called as a niche. ಆ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, that becomes a niche. For example, ಈ ಟ್ಯಾಡ್ಪೋಲ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಟ್ಯಾಡ್ಪೋಲು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಾಗು, both of them have same habitat. Both of them will be in the pond ecosystem. ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎರಡು. But this tadpole will eat the zooplanktons, phytoplanktons, small insects. But the frog will eat larger insects. So the eating habitat is changing. Yes. Ecological role of frog is different. Functional role of tadpole is different. So they can have a same habitat, different role. So I believe students, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, habitat ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನೆ, niche ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸರಿನಾ? So next thing I'll tell you is, I already told you, in nature we rarely find isolated single individuals. Nature ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವತ್ತು single individuals ಇರಲ್ಲ. ನೇಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೇಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಕೌ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಸಿ ಒನ್ ಕೌ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಟೈಗರ್. ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬಾ ಆಗದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆ ಕೌ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಟೈಗರ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಫೆಲೋ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಪ್ಯಾರೆಟ್ಸ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್, ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶ್, tiger population. So population will include what, students? A population will include a single species, one single species. One single species will be here and a group of them. That is called as a population. That is called as a population, students. So population in total number of population is total number of interbreeding individuals of a species. See, of a species. And they know single species found in a particular geographical area, sharing and competing for same resource. For example, chimpanzee population nodi, they can interbreed. Are they competing for the same resource? Yes, they're fighting for the same food, same water, same meat, same resources. That is a population. So population has what, students? A population has live in a well defined geographical area. Nammane, nam building gale, naka jana idare. Sarna, competing for the same natural resource, potentially interbreeding among themselves, sharing natural resources kuda agutte alli. That is a population. That is a population. Students, example nimge what is population keladre. If they ask you what is population, you should tell me a population is a single species of organisms sharing the same area, sharing the same food, or competing for the food, or interbreeding among themselves. Okay, potentially interbreeding. Okay, now students, every single time when I talk about population, we generally talk about sexual reproduction. When I say interbreeding, I generally talk about sexually reproducing organisms. But let me tell you, students, when you talk about population, you should also include asexual reproducing organisms kuda. A group of individuals resulting from even asexual reproduction is also considered a population. Yake? For the purpose of ecological studies. So a group of aspergillus, a group of bacteria, a group of fungi, a group of yeast, a group of hydra. That is also a population. That is also a population. So population doesn't mean only sexual reproduction. It can also mean asexual reproduction kuda agatte. That is a population. Okay. Now, introduction to population. A few examples they have given you here. Lotus population. This is your redwood tree, teakwood population. Then we have your cormorant population, which is a type of bird. So single species found in group. Single species found in groups. Okay. Now, students, under ecology, in biology we have botany and zoology. Botany valgadane subcategories. Under ecology also we have a subcategories. And the subcategory which you will study first is called as population ecology. Okay, so when we talk, ನೀವು ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷದ NCERT ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷದ NCERT ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ NCERT ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ there is a concept called as organism and environment. ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. There we generally talk about organisms. Habitat ಏನಿದು ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, cactus adaptation, altitude sickness adaptations, kangaroo rat adaptation, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. Okay, but right now what do you have is the population ecology. ನಿಮಗೆ NCERT syllabus ಇರೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನೀಗ population ecology. Okay, now under population ecology ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ population ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು ಈಗ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ population ಅಂತ ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು. Now under population ecology, a population has certain traits. For example, a single organism, ನಂತರದ್ದು, a single human will have birth and death. I will have birth and death. But at the same time, a population will have what? Birth rate and death rate. Individual organism we have birth and death. But for a population, we have birth rate and death rate. That is very important. So we have birth rate, death rate, and also we have something called as sex ratio, age distribution, and population density. So all of these are properties. All of these are different types of properties of a population. Clear, students? Clear? One second. Any doubt here, students? Any doubt here till now? Any doubt till now, students? Quickly ask me. I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking at the, what do I say? The chat. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ? All of you are understanding what is a population and how do we study a population? Because now we will be starting something called as population attributes. I'll be teaching you something called as your what is birth rate, what is death rate. There's a small formula also here. Anyone, any doubt, students? Quickly ask me, quickly. I'll give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes time. Quickly ask me. Doubt yenadru? No doubt? Okay. Now students, first we'll understand what is birth rate. What is birth rate? If there is no doubt, we'll start with something called as birth rate. Now, all of you know birth andre enu. Birth andre born. ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಮರ್ತೇ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ birth ನಾನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? So birth is basically giving born into the world, right? So birth rate, rate means at what time interval it is happening. Okay? So in a population, birth rate refers to per capita birth. Now what is per capita? A small word called as per capita. Per capita means per thousand. Per thousand. Per thousand. The rate hence are expressed as change in number, increase or decrease with respect to the members of the population. Now a small example here we have 20 lotus in 1 year, last year. This year we have 8 new plants are added. Now tell me students, ಹುಟ್ಟೋದು ಮರ್ತೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಸರಿನಾ. Students, 20 last year, this year have 8, so 28. So 8 plants have increased. 8 plants have increased in population. Now students, in examination, in KCET examination also, they can give you certain numericals here. Question ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸರಿನಾ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಇದು ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಇದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ದು. ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು? ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು? ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ divided by initial population. Okay, ಇದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಒಂದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 lotus last year, 20 lotus last year, newly added is 8. So what do you do right now students? Tell me. ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? Use the formula and tell me what is the percent, what is the rate of increase, what is the birth rate here? Tell me what is the birth rate. So newly added is 8. 8 divided by 20 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. 8 divided by 20, that's approximately 0.4 ಅಲ್ವಾ? 0.4, yes. So 0.4 per year. There is a 0.4 increase in birth rate per year. So very simple formula for birth rate. ಬರ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, 0.4. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ 250 tiger population. 250 tiger population. Okay, the 250 tiger population increased to 2500 tiger. Okay, or they'll give you one more. Okay, now they're telling you 250 tiger is increased to 2500 tigers. Okay, 2500 tigers. Find the birth rate. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ. The 250 tiger population increased to tigers population increased to 2500. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? Tell me, what do you do right now? First step is what? To find the newly added. Tell me students, ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳಿ. What is the increase now? 250 to 2500 ಅಂದ್ರೆ newly added ಎಷ್ಟು? You basically minus, no? 2500 minus 250 you do first. ಸರಿನಾ? ಅದು ಮಾಡೋದು you will get approximately 0.0552, right? 2250 ಅಲ್ಲ? 2250. This is newly added. This right here, 2250 is newly added. Okay, 2250 is newly added. Yes or no? ನೀವು ಹಂಗೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು? ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇರೋದು ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಂತ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 250 tigers. Okay, there are 250 tigers in the year 2023. Okay, it increased to 2500. Okay, in 2024. 2024. Okay, this is the population. This is the 2050 tigers in 2024. Calculate the birth rate. Calculate the birth rate now. Now you're supposed to minus first, right? You have to find you have to find the newly added population. So newly added is how much? 2500 minus 250. That is 2250, right? 2250. So you'll have to do 2250 divided by the formula is what? Initial population. What is the initial population? 250. 250 minus ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇಗ 2250 divided by 250 approximately 9 right 9 approximately 9 you will get. So that is the answer. So ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ಗೆ ಸರಿನಾ. There is something called as a death rate now. Understand students, there is something called as death rate also now. Now what exactly is happening? Death rate in a population, death rate refers to per capita death, again per thousand. ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಡೆತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಏನು? ಡೆತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಡೆತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆರ್ ಡೆಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆರ್ which are died population divided by the initial population. Okay, question ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? In death there are 40 fruit flies here. 4 have died. So what is the thing? 4 divided by 40. Yes or no? Died is how much? 4 divided by initial population 40. That is, tell me students quickly, what is 4 divided by 40? 0.1. 0.1. So 0.1 is the death rate. 0.1 is the death rate. So death rate formula, that is died divided by initial population. This is the formula for birth rate. Newly added divided by initial population. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನೀವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಈಗ. ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ they'll ask you. Okay, very simple question they'll ask you. Now the next thing is called as your sex ratio. Sex ratio is nothing but the number of boys is to number of girls. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? 20 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, 20 ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ 20 ಬಾಯ್ಸ್. ಅವಾಗ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 40 ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 80 ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್, ಅವಾಗೇನು 1:2 ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆಯಿತು. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೋರ್, ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲೆಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ within a population there will be always variations in the sex ratio depending upon area. That is, in South India it is almost equal, but if you go to North India the females are less, males are more there. Males ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸರಿನಾ? That is called as the sex ratio. Okay, now next topic is called as age distribution. That is, age distribution ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು you will understand 3 main categories. That is pre-reproductive ಮಕ್ಕಳು, reproductive adults, post-reproductive the old people. There are 3 different categories under age distribution. Okay, for example, now also if you can see, some of you are watching the videos, watching my lecture right now. Some of you are very young. Some of you are what, 16, 17, 18, right? I am 7 to 8 years older than you. Yes, I am. So that is the age distribution gap. Okay, age distribution gap is there. So when you take this age distribution and you make a graph out of it, that is, for human population the age pyramid generally shows age distribution of male and female. So when you take the age distribution, right, when you take the different types of age distribution of human population and you make a graph out of it, you get pyramids. So we have 3 different types of pyramids. One is called as expanding, one is called as stable, and one is called as declining. Students, understand very well right now. First I'll tell me what is the lowermost one. The yellow color ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? That is called as pre-reproductive, basically the child here. Then we have reproductive, that is the adolescent one. Then we have post-reproductive, the old people are there, post-reproductive. ನೀವು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ಬೇಗ ನೋಡಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ shape here? Tell me in the chat. What is the shape of expanding population? Quickly tell me in the chat. What is the shape here? Tell me students, what is the shape here? What type of shape do you find here? Can I tell the shape here is pyramid shape? Pyramid shape? Okay, it is pyramid shape. This right here is pyramid shape. Now if you see this diagram right here, can I tell the pre-reproductive, if yellow color bar ideyala, pre-reproductive is more than reproductive? Yes or no? Yellilaru, pre-reproductive is more than reproductive, and reproductive is more than post-reproductive. Post-reproductive. Artha aayta ellariguno? Artha aaytu. And where do you find such a population? Ya country kaansutte. Such a population is observed in developing countries. In developing countries, students. Developing country. An example kodi bega. India. In countries like India, we find expanding population. Expanding. Okay. Now, id nodi. What is the shape here? What is the shape? This is called as bell shape. This is called as bell shape. Okay. This right here is the shape called as bell shape. Okay. And it is stable population. It is called as stable population, which is bell shape. Bell shape, stable population. Now you notice ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಬೆಲ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇದೆ. So can I tell the pre-reproductive is equal to reproductive to some levels? Almost equal to some levels? Yes sir. That is, pre-reproductive is almost equal to reproductive, but both of them are comparatively more than post-reproductive. More than post-reproductive. Now, ee tara population, bell-shaped curve population, ya countries alli kaaniಸುತ್ತೆ. Such population is observed in developed countries. Example kodi nange chat alli bega. In developed countries. In developed countries, we'll notice such type of trend. In developed countries. A quick example is going to be America agli, France agli, any European countries. Right? Germany agli, Italy. So in such countries we find stable population. Okay. Now last one you see all of you. This is called as your urn shape. It is called as urn shape. U-R-N. It is called as urn shape. And here if you notice students, ಇಲ್ಲಿ pre-reproductive ಮತ್ತು post-reproductive, the yellow and the pink, both are less here. That is, pre-reproductive and post-reproductive are less here. ಈ ತರ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ತುಂಬಾ ಈ ತರ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಾರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿರಿಯಾ, ಇರಾನ್, ಇರಾಕ್, ಪ್ಯಾಲೆಸ್ಟೈನ್, ಯುಕ್ರೇನ್. Right? In such countries, you will find declining population. And also one of the famous examples of declining population is Japan. So I hope nimge ellargu artha aitu. What is your pre-reproductive? This is your pyramid shape, expanding, stable, that is bell shape, declining, that is your urn shape. 3 different types of pyramids on the board. Clear students? 3 different types of pyramids. That is the different age pyramids. Okay. Now, the size of the population tells us a lot about its status in the habitat. Obviously, if the population is very large, it means the population is able to grow very well in any condition. Example, human population nodi. Humans can grow in almost any conditions because we have adapted such a way. Tumma cold aita, sweater hakonbiಡ್ತೀವಿ. Tumma hot aita, fan hakonbiಡ್ತೀವಿ. We are adapted. We have adapted such a way that we can survive very well, and hence human population is almost everywhere. ನೀವು ಅದೇ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಕಾಗೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? The outcome of competition with another species, the impact of predator or effect of pesticide ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, any of the impacts, it is always studied any change in the population size. If I tell you one population ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ದಟ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈಜ್. ಆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. this population is very good. It is fighting with everything. It is able to compete and grow very well. It is able to compete with all the other plants or all the other birds. This particular bird is growing very well. Pigeon, parivala. Notice ಮಾಡಿರಬಹುದಲ್ಲ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರಿವಾಳ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ, because it is able to gather food and reproduce very well. Okay. Now students, see, the size of the nature could be as low as less than 10. That is Siberian crane at the Bharatpur wetlands in a year. Size ತುಂಬಾ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Very low population because they are very endangered. ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. But at the same time, ಒಂದು pond ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು, a simple pond ecosystem will have millions of Chlamydomonas. Millions. ತುಂಬಾ ಇರುತ್ತದು. ತುಂಬಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So population size can be very more or very less. Very less population. Okay. Now the population size, technically it is called as population density. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈ term now. There is something called as population size. But when we talk about population, we always say population density. Density. Okay. One simple example ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. What is population density? Okay. Simple example. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಚಾಟಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆಯೋದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೆಸರು ನಿಮ್ಮದು. There is school A and then there is school B. Okay, there is school A and school B. ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ. ಎರಡು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ A and school B. Let's say this school A is around 10,000 meter square area ಇದ್ರದ್ದು. Same random value students, random value 10,000 meter square ಇದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಕೂಡ. ತುಂಬಾ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಎ ಅಲ್ಲಿ you only have around 250 students. 250 students. But at the same time in school B, you have around 25,000 students. Let's say 25,000 students. 25,000 students. ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, which of the schools has more population density now? School A or school B? Tell me. See, area is same. Area in both the schools is very same. But in the school B, it is overpopulated. Every single classroom will have around 20 to 30. So what do I say? It will have more than around 200 students in per classroom. Per classroom 200 students. But illi nodi, A alli, in A you will have hardly one class, you will have around 10 students. So here population density is high. Here we have population density is very high here. Population density is high because for the same area more students. Here same area less students here. So population density is less, population density is more here. And population density is expressed in the terms of n. It is represented by n. Represented by n. Now students, ಈ population density concept ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, did I use numbers? Yes. So every single time in nature also, when we want to understand population density, we always express with the help of numbers. ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಪಾರಿವಾಳ ಇದೆ, 10 ಪಾರಿವಾಳ ಒಂದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಫೈ. ತುಂಬಾ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ನ. ಒಂದು ಎಕರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 100 ಮಾವಿನಕಾಯಿ ಮರ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಕರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 100 ಮಾವಿನಕಾಯಿ ಮರ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ ಟು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಫೈ. You are able to tell population density very easily with the help of number. But sometimes it is not possible. Sometimes what happens is you cannot use the number at all. Not possible at all to use the number. In such special cases, we use alternatives. I'll give you a quick example. Nodi, illi in 1 acre land, for example, in 1 acre land, let's say we have 1 banyan tree and 200 carrot grass. 1 banyan tree, 200 carrot grass, also called as parthenium, also called as ಏನದು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗಿಡ ಬರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗಿಡ ಇದು, ಸರ್ನಾ? Tell me students, here we have 200 of them. Here we only have 1. Now if I use the number as a medium to express density right now, population density as number, You will tell, okay, population density is more here, but less here. But in reality, which particular population is occupying more space? Tell me, students, is it the 200 carat grass or is it the one banyan tree? Which population is using more of the land? Banyan tree. ತಾನೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ banyan tree ಇದೆ. That is stating that a population density of a single banyan tree with a large canopy is low related to that of 200 carat grass amounts to underestimating the enormous role of the banyan tree in that community. So ಈ community banyan tree role ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Just because it is only one, it doesn't mean that it has less role. So sometimes what happens is, when I'm talking about population density, sometimes you cannot use the number, we use biomass. ಎಷ್ಟು biomass ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಈ banyan tree ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, obviously ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, one more example. For example, this is a petri dish. ಈ petri dish ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಮುಂದೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ. Every single spot also has hundreds and thousands of bacteria. Now tell me, students, is it easy to calculate the bacteria now? You couldn't count ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಇದನ್ನ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So in such case also, number does not justify. Count ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು. So number does not justify the role. You cannot use numbers to count the population density here. Okay, cannot use the numbers. One more example ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಒಂದು ನೀರು. For example, let's say there is a small pond here. Let's say there is a small pond here. Okay. Let's say there is a small pond here. Let's say there is a small pond here. In this small pond, I have, let's say, a lot of water is there. There's a lot of water here. In this small pond, there's a lot of water. In this small pond, there's a lot of water. Now, if I ask you to count the number of fishes in this pond, how will you do it? Think ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಗತ್ತಾ? Can you go underwater? Swim and count the fishes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ fishes ನಾ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So you cannot again use number. You cannot use number to count the number of fishes again. Number use ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. You cannot find the population density of fishes by using numbers here again. So ಈ ತರ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ? So when you cannot find the absolute value, you find relative value. Now what is this difference here? What is the difference between absolute and relative? Absolute ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಕ್ಕ ನಂಬರು, ಇಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ. Relative value is approximate number. ನೀವು ಅಂತೀರಲ್ಲ, ನಾನಿವತ್ತು ನೀವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನು, ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ನ ತಿಂದಿರಿ ಅಂತ ಇವತ್ತು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ನ ತಿಂದಿರಿ ಅಂತ. ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಂಬಾರು ತಿಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ನೀವು ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಂಬಾರು ತಿಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಿನ್ನೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ತಿಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಂಬಾರು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಂಬಾರು. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ನ ತಿಂದಿರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? Did you measure the amount of rice you ate? Did you count the grains of rice? Do you ever count the grains of rice and tell me I ate around 2000 grains of rice? Do you do that? ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ, ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಲ್. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಹಾಫ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಎಗ್ ರೈಸ್ ತಿಂದಿ ನಾನು, ಹಾಫ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಂಬಾರು, ಆರ್ ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಭಾಗ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಾಂಬಾರು. That is the approximate value. You're telling me approximately how much you ate. You're not telling me the actual value, right? ಈ ತರ ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬೋಟಲ್ನ ಬಂದು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬೋಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಬೋಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಈಗ, ಸರ್ನಾ? ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬೋಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬೋಟ್, ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಥ್ರೋ ಅ ನೆಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ನೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ approximately this region, this entire region the net is landing. Okay, now from this entire net I am getting around, let's say, 100 fishes from this area. So can I tell approximately in this much land I'll count the number of meters also. From 50 meter, let's say 50 meter net, I am getting 100 fishes. And if I know the entire diameter of the entire lake, can I calculate approximately how many fish are there in the entire lake? I can count. See, in 50 meter, 100 fishes. This is approximately, let's say this is 150 meters. It is 150 meters it is. Okay. 50 meters I'm getting 100 fish. One more 50 meters I'm getting how much? 100 fish again approximately here. Approximately 100 fish again here. So 100, 200, 300. So approximately andajali na helbodu nanu 300 fish are there in the entire pond. Approximate value. Okay. That is called as your approximate value and actual value. Students, artha agta idya? The difference between absolute and relative. ಅರ್ಥ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ absolute value ಅಂದ್ರೆ how much you exactly caught. Relative value is ಹಂಗೆ ಅಂದಾಜ್ ಮೇಲೆದು ಸರಿನಾ. Now one more example of where we cannot count the population, we cannot use number is tiger population ಕೂಡ. ನೀವು ಟೈಗರ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಟೈಗರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಟೈಗರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಟೈಗರ್ ಇದೆ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಈ ಟೈಗರ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಟೈಗರ್ ಬಂದು ತಿಂದೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಟೈಗರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಇನ್ ಟೈಗರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಮೆಷರ್. ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜಂಗಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 30 ಟೈಗರ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಈ ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ನೆಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ದೆ, ನೆಟ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಈ ನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ಟೈಗರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಾವು? ಈ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಈ ಟೈಗರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ನಾವು ಪಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಕೌಂಟ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಕೌಂಟ್ ದ ಫೀಕಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕೌಂಟ್ ದ ಪಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೀಕಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್, ವಿ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಅ conclusion, approximate conclusion, this forest has 30 tigers. ನಾವು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಟೈಗರ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಡ್ರೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಡ್ರೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಔಟ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಕಂಬರ್ಸಮ್ process, a very difficult process. So we use approximate values. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? What is population density and how can we use we cannot use population density all the time. We cannot use population density all the time as numbers. Now, the next topic is basically population growth. That is, the density of population in a given habitat during a given period fluctuates. Example, simple example ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರದ ಒಂದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರದು ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ಹಬ್ಬ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಹಬ್ಬ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ದಿರೋರು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರಾ? ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಊರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಇಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ. ಸಿ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ಸೊ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆವರ್ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್. ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಅ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆವರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಆನ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್. There is never a fix that you can never tell that population of this particular in this jungle is fixed. Agala. For example, I'll tell you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the last 5 seconds which I just counted, there might be some birth of a child in India right now. Agirutte. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a very high chance that one more child just now is born into this world. So population will always keep on increasing or decreasing. It is never constant. Okay, a population can never be constant. Now there are multiple parameters for a population to keep on changing. One is called as natality, that is the birth, mortality, death, immigration, baradu, emigration, ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್, there is a small trick, that is E for emigration, E for exit. E for emigration, E for exit. E for emigration and E for exit. So if someone is exiting India, if someone is exiting a population, that is called as emigration. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಯು ಎಸ್, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಯು ಎಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್, ಎಕ್ಸಿಟಿಂಗ್, ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಮಾರ್ಟಾಲಿಟಿ, ಡೆತ್, natality, birth. Okay, So these are different ways which population can keep on changing. One small example, immigration will always increase the population. Emigration, exit will reduce the population. Natality will increase the population. Mortality will decrease the population. One more, see this. Birth ಆದರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆದರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅದೇ ಡೆತ್ ಆದರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಎಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆದರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್? ಎಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್, ಬರ್ತ್, that is natality, death, mortality. That is how population dynamics keep on changing. A population will keep on increasing or decreasing. It is never constant. A population is never constant, students, never constant. Okay, so if that is clear to all of you, but if you want to know a population at a particular time, if you want to know what is the population at a particular time t, there is a small formula here, that is n is the population density at time t, then at density at time t1 is given as, that is birth plus immigration minus death plus emigration. So birth ಮತ್ತೆ immigration, death ಮತ್ತೆ emigration ನೀವು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ you will get a population density at time t, at the time t. Okay, now students ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ compared to mortality, natality, when we compare mortality, natality to immigration, emigration, which two factors will play a major role in change in population? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat quickly. Which out of these four factors, which two factors will play a major role in change in population? You'll tell me, sir, death and birth. Death and birth will play a major role in any population change. Right? Under normal conditions, birth and death are the most important factors influencing the population density. The other two factors assuming importance only under special condition. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾಳೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾಳೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ಧಾರವಾಡಲ್ಲಿ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಇನ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ, if you go stay in Dharwad, government will give you 20,000 rupees per month. Example, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ, ಬಟ್ imagine it is a offer for all the Karnataka people that if you go stay in Dharwad, you will get, let's say, every month 40,000 rupees for free. Now tell me, students, what will happen within a month? Will the population of Dharwad increase or decrease? Tell me now. Simple example, if I'm telling you, if you go stay in Dharwad, okay, and if you go, everyone stays in Dharwad, government will give you 40,000 rupees per month to stay there. You're like, free money? ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್? ದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ at one go. It will increase in Dharwad. That is a special condition. That is, for instance, a new habitat is just being colonized. Immigration that time. Immigration may contribute more significantly to population growth than birth rate. Our time ali, in Dharwad, birth rate does not play a major role in population change. It is always immigration will play a major role in population change that time. Okay, immigration will play a major role in population change. Okay. Now students, there are two different types of growth patterns. If I teach you these two patterns, today's class is over. That is something called as exponential growth and logistic growth. Ready, all of you? Ready? What is exponential growth and what is logistic growth? These are two topics which I'll teach you right now. And every single year in the KCET or your board examination, they will directly ask you a question on exponential or logistic growth. Okay? Easy? Start madada? Start madada, students? Start madada quickly. Bega ili. Can we start? Can we start? Yes? Okay. Let's start now. For example, let's take one example. Let's take, I have a friend called Bunty. Let's take, I have a friend called Bunty. Okay. Now, if Bunty's birthday is coming near and I give Bunty unlimited money to spend, what will Bunty do? Tell me. Bunty will go, enjoy. go to take all the friends to the party, he'll do that. Bunty will buy the phone, iPhone 16 Pro Max Ultra, something he'll buy. Okay. Bunty will go and completely buy a new car or new bike, he'll buy. Because unlimited money, unlimited money. If I keep on giving you unlimited money, you'll keep on enjoying. Yes. Now that is called as your exponential growth. In exponential growth, there is no condition. ಯಾರು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿನಾ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋನೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, resources or the food and space availability is obviously essential for the unimpaired growth of a population. Ideally, when the resources in the habitat are unlimited, so if you are getting unlimited money or if you are getting unlimited food or space, a population will keep on increasing. No one can stop the population now. If there is unlimited money, unlimited space, unlimited food, the population will keep on increasing. It will keep on increasing. Okay. Now, species has ability to realize full its innate potential to grow in number. Darwin observed while developing his theory of natural selection, then the population growth in an exponential or geometric fashion. So, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, if I give you unlimited money, you will keep on spending it. Similarly, graph ನೋಡಿ. Similarly, if you plot a graph for it, you get a J-shaped curve. J-shaped curve. That is dn by dt is equal to Rn. Okay. This is called as exponential growth. It is called as exponential growth. So in exponential growth, students, no one is stopping. In exponential growth, no one is stopping and there is unlimited resources. So the organism will keep on growing continuously for their entire life. Keep on growing, population is increasing. Okay, dm by dt is equal to Rn. Okay, that is dm by dt is equal to Rn is the formula here. This is for exponential growth, J-shape. That is, a population of size n has birth rate B and death rate as D. The decrease or increase in population is given by your dm by dt. So dm by dt is equal to Rn. What is R here, students? R is called as intrinsic rate of natural increase. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇದು? What is the meaning of intrinsic rate of natural increase? The meaning is that a population is able to grow continuously without any trouble and at full potential. ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಮುಂಚೆ you will be in such a lot of pressure, you will study really well that day. That is your R value. You will study really well. Now, ನೀವು ಅದೇ ಥರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಓದ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ನೀವು ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. They tell you, right, what will happen if I use 100% of my brain? ಫುಲ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರ ತಾನೆ, ಫುಲ್ ಟಾಪರ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರ ತಾನೆ. Obviously, that is what is happening here. That is, a population is able to grow really well. There is no one to stop. Okay, and it is very important to parameters chosen for the assessing the impact of any biotic or abiotic factors on a population. So dm by dt is equal to Rn is a formula for exponential growth. No one is stopping. But students, there's one more formula here. This is one. The other formula is your integral formula. That is nt equals n naught e to the power of rt. What is e here, students? E is the base of natural logarithm. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು PYQ question. ಇದು ನೀಟಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಇದು PYQ question. What is e? nt equals n naught e to the power of rt. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರ, ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಮುಂಚೆ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಓದ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ನೀವು ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಓದ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಲೈಫೇ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? Hello Sneha, welcome. Okay, now students, that is called as exponential growth. But in reality, that is not the case. Why? Reality ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಮನಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ? ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಇಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪಾಕೆಟ್ ಮನಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಕೆಟ್ ಮನಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ದ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್. Unlimited money is expectation. This is reality. Now, what is reality? The reality is called as logistic growth. The reality is called as what, students? Reality is called as logistic growth. Logistic growth. Logistic growth ali? Logistic growth ali we have a sigmoid curve. This right here is a sigmoid curve. Sigmoid curve. This sigmoid curve has three main parts. Understand, students? A sigmoid curve has three main parts. The first part is called as a log phase. First is called as lag phase. First one is called as a lag phase. Is to lag. Then we have this part is called as log phase. This is called as your log phase. And then we have asymptote line. Asymptote line. Lag, log, line. Log now we also call it acceleration. Acceleration zone. So lag, log, asymptote. This is called as logistic growth. This is called as exponential growth. J shape. Now students, in logistic what is happening? Understand. In logistic growth, every single time, right, can you see this line? If the population density, that is population density, this is the population density, right? If population density is reaching one capacity here. Now students, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಟೋಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಆ ಆಟೋದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ತುರ್ಕಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಒಂದು 10 ಜನ ಕುತ್ಕೋಬೋದು, 10 ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕುತ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಆ ವ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದೇ ವ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೀಗ 100 ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾನ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ವ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಫಿಟ್ 100 students into one van? Is it possible? Not possible. That is called as the carrying capacity. Every single ecosystem has a carrying capacity. If you push beyond it, the population will not increase. Every single van has a fixed amount of students which can sit inside. ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಪುಷ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 10ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. That is the carrying capacity of the van. 10 students is the carrying capacity. 10 students is the carrying capacity of the van maximum. ಆ ತರಾನೇ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸೀಡ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ಇಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೀಡ್ಸ್, ದ ನೇಚರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಕೋವಿಡ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ವೇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ಡ್. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟು, when your population density becomes equal to carrying capacity, K is called as carrying capacity. When n equals A, that time population cannot increase anymore. Population becomes stagnant or saturated. Population becomes saturated here when n is equal to K here. Okay, the formula here is dn by dt is equal to Rn. Same, almost same, but K minus n by K. What is K? K is called as your carrying capacity. K is called as what, students? Carrying capacity. K is called as carrying capacity. Very important line to understand to all of you. Carrying capacity. Okay. Now what is happening in, this is again exponential, student. This is again exponential. Any species growing in exponential, that is unlimited resources. Under unlimited resources, conditions can reach enormous population densities in a short period of time. ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ, ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಊಟ ಕೊಡಿ, ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಬೆಳೆದೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ? Reality is called as logistic growth. Logistic growth, also called as Van Herst population growth. Okay, no population of any species in nature has at disposal unlimited resource. ಯಾವ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಊಟ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಧ್ಯನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗೋದು. Every single population has a fixed food, fixed space. Sarna? That is to permit exponential growth. This leads to a competition between the individuals for limited resources. Eventually, the fittest individual will survive and reproduce. Obviously, students, ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 100 trees ಇದೆ. In 100 trees, we have 200 giraffe. Will there be competition now? Tell me. There are 100 trees in an area and 200 giraffe. The 200 giraffe will compete among each other for the 100 trees. They will. When there is competition, the superior one, the fittest one will survive, other one will perish. That is what is happening in the logistic growth, which is the actual reality. Okay, reality. Okay. The maximum, see, this is called as carrying capacity. The maximum population size of a species that the environment can sustain indefinitely given the food and habitat, water and other necessity available in the environment is known as carrying capacity. Maximum capacity is called as carrying capacity. Okay. If it exceeds more than carrying capacity, it is not. See, carrying capacity ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇದು ಈ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಲಾಜಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋನೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, dn by dt is equal to Rn k minus n by k. K minus n by k. This is your sigmoid curve. This is your lag phase. Till here it is the lag, log and asymptote or stationary line. Okay, stationary line. This is the formula here. K is the carrying capacity. Okay. Since resources for growth for most animals population are finite, that is finite means limited. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಗೂ ಊಟ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. and becoming limiting sooner or later, the logistic growth model is considered a more realistic one. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ ಪ್ರಭು ಸರ್, when can you be able to do PYQs? ಮಾಡೋದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಇದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಇಂದ ನಾನು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೈಸ್ PYQ ಮಾಡೋದ, ಏನಂತೀರಾ? ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೈಸ್ ನಾವು ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ PYQs ಮಾಡೋದ. ಟಾಪ್ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ 30 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ 50 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. ಸರಿನಾ? ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 11 ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 11 ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಇಂದ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಡೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ PYQs. ಓಕೆ, ಎವ್ರಿ KCET PYQs ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ PYQs ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. ಸರಿನಾ? ನಾ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. ಇವತ್ತು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದು ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಲೈಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ evolved to maximize the reproductive fitness, also called as Darwin's fitness, the high R value in a habitat in which they live. That is, every single organism is looking a way in which it can survive better, which can make sure the offsprings are surviving better. Okay, offsprings can survive better. We will do that. Okay, so under a particular set of selection pressure, organisms evolved towards the most efficient reproductive strategy. See, every single organism wants their offsprings to survive. ನೀವು ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬೀನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ? ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬೀನ್ ಒಂದು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಅವ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಸ್ ತಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಟ್ಯಾಡ್ಪೋಲ್ಸು. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಸೀನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಡ್ಪೋಲ್ಸ್? ಏನದು ಕಪ್ಪೆ ಮರಿ, ಕಪ್ಪೆ ಚಿಪ್ಪು ಏನಂತಾರಪ್ಪ ಅದನ್ನ, ಟ್ಯಾಡ್ಪೋಲ್ಸು ಕಪ್ಪೆ ಚಿಚ್ಚಿದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಅದು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಬಿ 1 or 10, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹಂಡ್ರೆಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರಾಗ್. ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಒಂದು 10 ಮರಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 10 ಒಂದು 8 ಮರಿ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. 10 ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಫ್ರಾಗು ಒಂದು 100 ಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಮರಿನ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸಿ, ಸಮ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೀಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಟೈಮ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ. Specific salvin fishes bamboo, while others breed many times during their lifetime. Most birds and mammals. Some produce a large number of small size offsprings, oysters, pelagic fishes, and etc. Some produce a small number, humans thara, large size offsprings, birds and mammals. See, mammals will produce only one, but we'll make sure we'll take care of it. Okay, so which is desirable for maximum fitness? Idu. So ecologists suggest that life history traits of an organism have evolved in relation to constraints that imposed by the abiotic and biotic components of the habitat in which they live. So ಈ ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಥರ ಎವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಶೋರ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಎಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ತುಂಬ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಪೋಲಾರ್ ಬೇರ್ಸು, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೋರ್ ದೇ ಗಿವ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಟು ಅ ಕಬ್, large cub, but they'll take care of it. Okay, so life history variation tells you that every single organism has evolved to increase the reproductive fitness, R value ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, and make sure they can survive in the harsh conditions. Okay, clear students? I think we will stop there, students. I think we will stop there today. Okay. So students, ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾ ಹೇಳಿ, ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳಿ. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾ ಇದು? ಈ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? PDF ಬೇಕಾ? ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ PYQs. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಇಂದ PYQ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದೆ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ, ಈ ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೆ ಮಾಡೋದ, ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಂಡೇ ಮಾಡೋದ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಲಿತೀರಪ್ಪ? ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ರಿಡೇಷನ್, ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲಿಸಮ್, ಕಮೆನ್ಸಾಲಿಸಮ್, ಅಮೆನ್ಸಾಲಿಸಮ್, ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಸಮ್, ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಲಿತೀರಾ. ದಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವೆರಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್. ನಾವು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅದನ್ನ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು? ವಿ ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ecology. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ we learned about mortality, natality, birth rate, death rate. We also learned about exponential growth, logistic growth. ಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಕಲ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಕೀಪ್ ದ NCERT ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಓದಿ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ NCERT ಬುಕ್ನ. ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಓದಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಎನಿವೇರ್, ಯು ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಮೀ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್. Okay, and if you want to talk to me on everything, if you want to interact and all, Telegram channel, all of you know, right? This is my Telegram channel. This is the Telegram channel. You can interact here. Okay, Vaswaraj sir, biology. So what about mock test? Mock test barely time ide Prabhu. We will start providing mock test once they are ready. Now ready ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ mock test ನ, ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. Random ಆಗಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So you have to sit and prepare mock tests. We are preparing right now. So once the mock tests are done, we'll give it for free. Don't worry. Okay, everything is going to be there. So with that being said, students, today's class is over. I will see you in the next class. Until then, take care all of you. Keep studying, keep revising, keep reading NCERT. Yavattu ena doubt bandre, all of you know where to do. Okay, so bye bye. Take care all of you. Have a great day.